If you're tired of overgiving, of shrinking yourself to be chosen, of feeling like love, peace, or abundance is something you have to earn, I want you to know this. You're not broken. You're just unpracticed in believing you matter. There is a way to live differently, and this is exactly why I created You Matter, an 8-week, soul-deep course to help you remember your worth, reclaim your power, and rewrite every relationship in your life, starting with the one you have with yourself. Enrollment is now open. You can find more information on my website, www.lindsaymorlock.com. Come walk with me on this journey, and I'll show you how your worthiness was never up for debate. The world is waking up, and you finding your way here today is no coincidence. The spirit world always has a way of guiding us where we most need to be at the absolute perfect time. I'm your host, Lindsay Morlock, and you're listening to the Guided Podcast, where we explore how the spirit world works on our behalf to guide us along our paths. This is where you'll learn how to live a life that is both conscious and connected, so you can supercharge your pathway to healing and open to life's magic and miracles. Come along this journey to see how guided you truly are. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Guided Podcast. If you've been following the last few episodes where I spoke around the theme of why you keep settling for breadcrumbs of connection, then you already know we've been peeling back the layers on what happens when we override our own needs, when we silence our own voice, and when we give from a place of wounded worth. And today, I'm going to take you deeper, because when you're starving for connection, overgiving becomes a strategy for survival. But reciprocity is the medicine. This is not just a conversation about giving and receiving. This is a conversation about energetic integrity, emotional nourishment, and the spiritual laws that govern abundance. So what are we even talking about when we speak about reciprocity? So reciprocity is not keeping score. It's not tit-for-tat. It's not transactional. It's not, I did this, so now you owe me. Reciprocity is a sacred rhythm. It's the breath of love. It's the circular flow of energy, of care, of presence and provision through you, to you, and from you. Spirit defines reciprocity as this invisible current that sustains relationships, creativity, business, our healing, our joy, and love. And without it, the current dies. The field goes dry. The energy stagnates and withers or distorts. So this is not just a concept. This is a spiritual law. Reciprocity is an ecosystem. If you think about it, nature models reciprocity constantly. The sun gives light, the earth gives growth. We give breath to the trees, and the trees give it back. When we take without giving, when we overgive without receiving, when we block ourselves from receiving out of guilt or shame or fear, the entire system collapses. Energy stops moving. And abundance, which is rooted in circulation, gets blocked. So abundance is not just about finances. It's the state of being in right relationship with the flow. But overgiving actually breaks the flow. So when you give and give and give without ever being met, you're no longer participating in the sacred rhythm. You're leaking energy. You're self-abandoning. You're operating from a belief system that says, I must prove I'm worthy of love by pouring out everything I have. And that belief actively repels abundance, because overgiving says, I'm not enough as I am. I have to earn my place. My value is in what I do, not who I am. And from that place, there's no space to receive. You literally become a closed channel, outputting only, and the nervous system locks and the flow dries up. So how do you know if or when reciprocity is even broken? Well, you'll feel it. You feel it in your body. You'll feel it in your bank account. You'll feel it in your relationships. And it might feel like being emotionally exhausted, but unable to explain why. It might feel like deep resentment after giving. It might feel like guilt when you stop doing and overgiving for others. It might feel like being invisible in rooms that you helped hold together. It might feel like obligation to keep showing up without being nourished in return. It might feel like you're earning your place instead of being valued for who you are and for just existing. When you find yourself explaining your worth, if you find you're the one always doing the initiating or holding or fixing or managing, when you feel more invested in someone's healing than they are, when your tenderness and your vulnerability is met with silence, that's not reciprocity. That is leakage. And that is where abundance ends. True reciprocity is not this perfect 50-50 split. It's not equal in form, but think of it as equal in heart. Reciprocity sounds like, I'll hold space for you when you're grieving, and you'll cheer me on when I rise. I'll honor your time, and you'll honor my tenderness. I'll give you my truth, and you'll give me your presence. It's mutual attunement. It's shared care. It's emotional availability. It's this unspoken agreement that you matter, and so do I. But without reciprocity, abundance dries up. Staying in non-reciprocal dynamics, whether in life, in relationships, in business, in places, or even in your relationship with spirit, staying in a non-reciprocal dynamic is a vote against your own deservingness. Every time you settle for crumbs, every time you stay in a container where you're undernourished, every time you call depletion loyalty or martyr yourself for a mission, you are blocking the flow. And when the flow is blocked, abundance cannot reach you because abundance is not hustle. Abundance is not output. Abundance is not earned. Abundance is received. And you cannot receive when your energy is clenched in a posture of survival. So how do you go about restoring the flow? Well, the first thing I encourage you to do is name it. Where have you been giving from lack? Where have you been overextending yourself in order to be chosen? Where are you forgetting your own worth? Naming it restores integrity. It brings your energy back into conscious alignment. It's important to understand your own worthiness patterns and the wounds that are driving you to wear certain masks. If you need help uncovering this, you'll actually find a link in my show notes to take my free quiz. This quiz is designed to help you identify the blocks that are keeping you from fully owning your worth. Because once we can see how we're behaving and what survival strategies are actually driving our behavior, we can bring conscious awareness to the patterns keeping us stuck and then begin to change them. And when we start to move into changing our patterns, we get to cut the cords. We get to stop offering what we no longer have the capacity to give. We stop doing for others what we are unwilling to offer ourselves. We cut the energetic ties to one-way dynamics. You do not owe anyone your depletion. And then last, but certainly not least, I encourage people to practice receiving. And this is one of the hardest ones. I know it was for me, but let someone compliment you. Let someone help you. Let yourself ask for support. Let love in without guilt. Receiving regulates the nervous system. It opens the channel and it teaches your body, I am worthy of care without condition. Abundance is not a concept. It's a current. It's a cycle. And the cycle looks like giving, receiving, being replenished, and giving again. And if someone only takes, that loop breaks. And what happens? If you only give, you become the sole power source in a broken circuit. And eventually, the light goes out. So ask yourself, are you giving from overflow? Or are you giving from emptiness? Are you receiving with reverence or blocking what you most long for? You can't be nourished by people who feast on your light, but never offer warmth in return. That's not abundance, that's extraction. Let love circulate. Let energy return. Let reciprocity become your new standard. And perhaps most importantly, understand that reciprocity is the architecture of divine union. It's not just a tool for healing our relational patterns. It's the blueprint for all sacred union with the divine, with the earth, with others, and with yourself. Reciprocity is how spirit communes with us. We offer presence, trust, devotion, and spirit returns it as provision, guidance, miracles, and alignment. But here's the missing link that many overlook. You cannot be in divine union without reciprocity, because one-sided devotion is not holy. It's a distortion. So when you settle for non-reciprocal relationships, even with spirit, you are reenacting separation, not unity, not love, not devotion. When you expect yourself to endlessly pour, when you spiritualize depletion, when you mistake martyrdom for generosity, you're not living in reverence. You're actually participating in disembodied self-abandonment. Spirit wants your yes, but not your burnout. Spirit wants your devotion, but not your self-erasure. Spirit wants to love with you, not take from you. So the teaching is this: reciprocity is not just how we heal. It is how we enter into right relationship with the divine. Without it, our offering becomes a performance. Our prayers become pleas. Our giving becomes grasping. And with it, our energy becomes an altar. Our service becomes sacred, and our presence becomes enough. So I'll leave you with this for now. Until next time, bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to the Guided Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I would be so grateful if you would share it with a friend or even leave me a review so we can ensure that it makes its way into the ears of listeners who need to hear these messages most. Until next time, may you remember how guided you truly are.